Hey Slave Lake, I wanted to take a second to talk about budget. And so on Tuesday's meeting here on March 16th, Council passed our budget. And so I want to try and quickly go through and tell you what that looks like. First off, 2020 was a bit of a question mark. We had some big impacts from the fact that we had to close a number of our facilities. And so that resulted in huge revenue issues because a lot of those user groups aren't using that and those facilities just aren't free while they're closed. In order to kind of combat that, we had to make some big tough decisions and unfortunately had to lay off a number of staff and in an effort to reduce those expenses. Looking at it now as we progress here at the end of 2020, our budget is actually looking like we're going to be fairly cost neutral. We'll get those numbers verified here towards the end of April here and release our financial statements. But I really want to stress that, due to some internal decisions there to cut expenses and part of the being people, as well as, and this is an important piece, the fact around provincial support that we saw later in the year, we were able to do that. And so I bring that up for 2021. Council's focus was really big on, how do we keep making things feel normal and move forward and keep same levels of services and get facilities open, but at the same point in time, we need to recognize we can't go dipping into people's pockets to be able to do that. And so I'm excited to announce that the 2021 budget has passed. Two big key factors there. One, we intended to deliver the same service level that we have in the past, so we're not making any cuts anywhere, but have passed a 0% tax increase. So I really appreciate administration and our council working aggressively towards that. But what does that mean? That means we're still going to do some road work. We're still going to do some water and sewer work. We're making some improvements to our parks and some of our facilities. But the big question is going to be, can we keep our facilities open? How is, are those user groups going to use those facilities? Is that revenue going to come in and stabilize? Additionally, are we going to see provincial support again this year? So a lot of that is a question mark. It's our best guess, and only being in March here, we'll have to see what happens as things go on. Two big things that really are going to affect the municipalities from the budget perspective as we move forward. The provincial budget was announced here within the last week or two, and the two big items that really cause concern for municipalities are, one, the province is moving towards that municipalities will now be on the hook for up to 10% of any disaster costs. You can imagine in Slave Lake what that kind of impact would have had in 2011. We're talking tens of millions of dollars. In comparison, 1% tax increase nets us about $78,000. So I don't even know what we would do in that scenario, and hopefully we don't have to figure out what that is. The other big one is around MSI funding. And so MSI funding is basically a municipal sustainability initiative, and since the province said approximately 10 years ago, municipalities, in order for them to be successful and move forward and get things done, we have to help support them. And so we benefit from approximately $1 million a year that the province submits into our economy, into our community, through our town, and we use it for a number of projects. This helps us with our buildings, roads, and mainly those are the focus of where we put those funds. They've announced that we will see an up to reduction of 50% funding over the next couple of years. And so while I respect and understand that the government is in a tight spot and that we've spent a lot of money to support things and move things forward, and money has to come from somewhere, I also recognize that a few years from now they're not going to turn around and double that funding to catch up. And so municipalities are going to have some tough decisions here as we move forward. But for right now, we're looking towards status quo. And so internally, our council is still very focused on supporting jobs, supporting economy, supporting development and growth. I think we're a fantastic community, and the biggest asset we could bring to this community is more people and more jobs, more people to contribute to paying those taxes that will help lower taxes. And I think there's a variety of sectors, whether it be through forestry, tourism, oil and gas, that we have some opportunities there. So we're excited to see what our economic development department will do. And our administration internally is really focused on customer service. Our new CEO, David Kim, is guiding and leading our staff in that direction, but that is going to be a lot of that focus and those lobbying efforts, those discussions with the province, get our highways fixed, make our improvements in healthcare, make some improvements at the park north of town, and continue to grow this region and show this region, because I think it's a fantastic place to live, to raise my family, to do business, and I think you guys think so too. So we'll be reaching out here in the future here to let you know how you can help with that, but just want to say thanks to administration, thanks to council for working hard behind the scenes to bring forward a 0% tax increase. So I want to say over the last 5 years, we are well below inflation. We're probably on average less than 1%. We'll make sure that that communication comes out. We'll have a more detailed piece in budget here in the weeks to come. But thanks for being there for us, Slave Lake, and we're going to continue to move forward. Excited to see where we can go.